Most entrepreneurs think success comes from working longer, saving tighter, and saying yes to everything. What they don't tell you, though, is those things are actually sabotaging your business. There's 7 habits like that we'll go through in this video and show you why they're hurting your growth, and most importantly, what to do instead. I think some of them will surprise you too. This first one's an everyday struggle for pretty much everyone I know, and it's one a lot of entrepreneurs wear like a badge of honor too. Always staying busy. Most people think packing your schedule wall to wall is undeniable proof of productivity. If every hour's filled, if every person on the team's occupied, then the business must be running at peak efficiency, right? But here's the problem with that. Busyness is not progress. Really, the more we try to keep every plate spinning like that, the more we're actually slowing ourselves down. McKinsey found through their research that small businesses actually operate at only about 50% of the productivity levels of bigger firms. That's because of this obsession with maximum utilization. Everything looks busy on the surface, but behind the curtain, projects are on fire. Back when I worked for a big accounting firm, utilization and billable hours were the golden goose. We had so many projects to get done during busy season that if less than 90% of your time was spent on client work, you weren't going to get it done. This hyper focus on efficiency every day was both a blessing and a curse. Like, we were all busy on the surface, but even the managers were so busy that they couldn't keep track of where projects were, and marching orders were just not clear. And that's the trap right there. When we equate busyness with productivity, we fall into efficiency theater. It looks impressive, but it creates bottlenecks, errors, and long wait times for clients. So we can reframe it here, like focus on flow, not on filling every single second. Protect that empty space so the work can actually move, because throughput beats busyness every time. But staying busy isn't the only badge of honor that entrepreneurs cling to. If busyness looks impressive on the outside, overworking is the ultimate hustle trophy, and it's one that burns more than it builds. Now, at first glance, this might sound a lot like the first habit of always staying busy, but there's a difference. Always staying busy is about filling every minute with tasks and confusing activity with progress. The second habit of overwork and burnout takes it a step further. This is where you really push the gas pedal down and keep it there, like 70, 80, even 100 hours a week, believing more time automatically equals results. So while busyness is the illusion of productivity, overwork is the illusion of capacity. The first one scatters your focus across way too many small tasks. The second drains your energy reserves until even the important work is suffering. Both are dangerous, but burnout in particular leaves scars. It doesn't just slow you down in the moment, it can knock you out of the game entirely. So back to my accounting story, during busy season, we'd regularly push 70, 80-hour weeks. It felt hardcore and like we're really getting stuff done, but an analysis from Stanford shows that productivity per hour actually falls off a cliff after about 50 hours. At about 70, you are flatlining. And looking back on it now, I can really see how true that is. And especially today in the entrepreneurial world, most founders push like this because it feels like control. Like, if I just grind a little harder, we'll break through. But your creative problem solving, good judgment, and leadership are all high energy tasks. When you're tired and you're constantly switching between completely different tasks, you have decision fatigue, and simple choices turn into really expensive mistakes. Essentially, you're solving yesterday's problems with tomorrow's energy. Now, to clarify, I don't want you to not work hard. I want you to work in the most impactful ways. So what do you do instead? In this case, you measure the outcomes, not the hours, like weekly KPIs that you tie to shipped value, like features that go live, demos that you book, MRR added, not how full your calendar is. Also, pace it like an athlete, like heavy days on Monday and Tuesday, lighter days Thursday and Friday. Make sure you get those true rest days, and with intervals like that, you'll take it a lot farther than with a flat out sprint the whole week. Also, cap your capacity, like plan for 70 to 80% utilization so you have enough room to breathe and room for surprises when life happens during the week. You don't win by working endlessly, you win by producing. Rest is part of that work. What's ironic though is that after burning ourselves out, many of us still end up holding on to every dollar like it's our last. But just like extreme hustling, extreme penny pinching has a hidden cost. Where frugality is a superpower, cheapness is a trap. Frugality asks, what's the best value over time? Cheapness asks, what's the lowest price right now? One builds margin, the other's building headaches. So let's say you're looking at getting your team new laptops. Like the $500 refurbs out there look great on paper compared to the $1,500 top of the line stuff. But then in the first week, you're getting random crashes, batteries are dying. Third week, you're getting 2 laptops that don't even start anymore. And then what you saved up front gets sucked away in lost hours, 50 IT tickets, and missing deadlines. So in the end, that $500 laptop cost you $5,000 in headaches. And here's why this happens. Like, cheap decisions often carry hidden costs with them. Equipment doesn't last as long. You lose time dealing with unnecessary and created problems, and your clients get a crappy experience when they don't get what they want. So what do? Instead of looking at sticker price, look at the total cost of ownership. And you can do this by asking 3 questions before you buy. Will it last? We're talking durability, a warranty, serviceability. Will it save time? Give fewer glitches, faster workflows, less babysitting? And will it protect trust, giving your clients quality that they can feel? A simple rule of thumb you can use here is to invest where failure is expensive, like on your brand with your website design, client communications, your equipment, computers, cameras, microphones, software, and then your risk mitigators, like your backups, security, and bookkeeping. All of those things deserve quality. And on the flip side of that, be frugal on the commodities like printer paper, office decor, and travel upgrades. You're not paying more, you're paying once. Of course, once you're locked into the mindset of saving every penny, it's only a short leap from there to thinking you should just do everything yourself. After all, why hire help when you can save by wearing every hat? Let's be real though, wearing every hat feels efficient. Looking at you, habit number 1, no handoffs, there's no explanations, no waiting on anyone. It's faster until it takes like 3 times as long. The problem is when you're the founder and the marketer and the copywriter and the bookkeeper, your day becomes just a carousel of context switching. Every time you switch between things saps your focus. So the result isn't being heroic, it's 100 half moves, and all those savings turned into you losing deep work, slower shipping to clients, and more mistakes. Let's say you're a small team and decide to run your own Google ads to save money. You end up spending $90 to make a $24 sale. That's not scrappy, that's just a leak in the boat. The pattern's pretty predictable. DIY feels cheaper up front, then you repay it with interest by missing opportunities. So what actually works? You got to figure out your founder's zone. Like, what are the 1 or 2 activities only you can do that move revenue or product quality? You've got to protect those hard. Then cap your plate. Plan for 80% capacity so there's room for fire drills and deep work. If you're running at 110% all the time, your engine's going to overheat. Now, if juggling every role wasn't distracting enough, entrepreneurs often face another temptation. That shiny new thing that'll transform your operations might be pulling you further off track than you realize. If you've ever ditched a perfectly good project because a hotter, newer idea popped up, that impulse has a name: shiny object syndrome. But it has one big twist too. Every new thing you try sucks time, attention, and resources away from what's already working. EOS Worldwide says that each exciting opportunity steals fuel from your core focus. The result is a cycle of starting things without finishing. Think about it this way. A creator is halfway through building a premium course. They got the outline done, lessons recorded, warm leads are all stacked up, then a new app trend takes off, and they pivot thinking bigger upside, but 2 months later, they lost all the momentum with the course and the idea just went cold. They didn't just lose time, they lost the momentum that comes from finishing. It usually backfires because of 3 things. 1, the cost of switching. Every time you pivot resets the context of everything. You pay a ramp-up tax again. Your team doesn't have clear direction. You get mixed signals, which kills morale and quality. And then you lose the compounding of finishing things, like a half-built bridge doesn't cross a river. So here's what you can do instead. Set your core focus filter. Does this directly advance our mission, audience, and revenue engine in the next 90 days? If not, it goes to the parking lot. Idea number 2, have an idea parking lot and review it monthly, where you capture every shiny new idea once a month, not daily. And if it still looks great after 30 days, consider it. Set how much work you've got in process. So cap your active projects, like a max of 2 things, and nothing new until you finish one of those. Now, some founders swing to the opposite extreme. So Instead of chasing every shiny new project, they hoard resources and pile up the cash for safety. But money sitting around still isn't safe. It's just losing in slow motion. One of the sneakiest traps for entrepreneurs is actually oversaving, not overspending. Building a safety cushion feels smart, even responsible. But think about it like this. Cash sitting still is like ice melting in your hands. It feels solid at first, but every day, inflation's quietly chipping away at the value. And it's not just solopreneurs. Small and medium-sized businesses do this too. A ton of small businesses can hoard cash after tough times because it makes them feel safe. But in practice, it often means missing the big opportunities. Instead, it's sitting idle, losing the purchasing power and ground to competition. Now, don't get me wrong, having the reserves and an emergency fund matters. You need that liquidity to handle like payroll and downturns and unexpected expenses. But 3 to 6 months of operating expenses is plenty for your average business. So we can reframe this like cash is not wealth. Cash is potential energy that you have. It only builds wealth when it's working for you, not hiding like that in your account. And finally, beyond all the numbers, the hours, and the spreadsheets lies the biggest emotional trap of all, passion. Following your passion feels noble, but if it blinds you to profit, it could be the most expensive habit of them all. And that phrase, follow your passion, might be the most repeated piece of entrepreneurial advice out there. It makes sense though. Like passion keeps you motivated, helps you power through setbacks, and it gives you purpose. But passion doesn't pay payroll or rent or your tax bill. As Chris Ducker puts it, passion makes a terrible CFO. And here's why. Passion-driven entrepreneurs focus a lot on the craft, the mission, or the creative spark, and they forget to run the numbers. They price too low, pour hours into all your offerings without checking on the demand, or straight up just refusing to change even when the market is yelling at you, no thank you. Over time, the love for the work blinds you to the fact that the math isn't adding up. Let's say you're an artisan who loves baking specialty cakes. So you're obsessed with perfecting recipes and you work real late nights decorating them, and then you undercharge because it's just cake. Customers love your product, but the pricing doesn't cover your labor or your costs. So you end up running yourself into the ground financially while you're clinging to this dream. The passion is real, but the profits are not. This backfires on you because a business not making money eventually caves under its own weight, no matter how much your heart is in it. And ironically, the faster you scale on passion alone, the faster you burn out your resources. So what's the better way? Keep your passion as the fuel, but let the profit be your steering wheel. So that means like tracking your margins, checking demand before you invest in a new product or service, and making sure those numbers align with the dream. You gotta love your work, but you have to know your numbers. So we've just walked through the 7 habits that on the surface look like smart wealth building moves. Working harder, saving every penny, and doing everything yourself. You chase every new opportunity, and each one feels like you're doing the right thing in the moment, but now you can see how they can actually kill your growth. And worse, they can drain your energy and even put your business at risk. So if you've caught yourself in any of these traps, first, take a breath. Every entrepreneur, me included, has fallen into at least one of these more than once. What really makes a difference, though, isn't avoiding the mistakes completely. It's spotting them and changing before they cost you more time, money, or sanity. And here's the identity shift I want you to take away from all this. Real wealth isn't built by grinding endlessly or penny pinching your way through business. It's not about saying yes to every idea or hoarding cash like it's a dragon's treasure. Real wealth is balance. It's flow over busyness. It's rest as part of the work. It's investing wisely where quality matters and freeing yourself up to focus on the work only you can do. So next time you catch yourself thinking, if I just push a little harder, if I just cut back a little more, if I chase this one shiny thing, remember the goal isn't to do more. The goal is to build better. And if you want to keep building smarter, hit subscribe because I post videos like this every week and you won't want to miss the next one. Thanks for watching. And as always, happy creating.